Come out to the bar.
Hello YouTube, cheers and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
Oh, and I'm D-Boy Slim.
And The Basement Debates is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family. And it's a simple question, don't need a lot. Are different genres of hip-hop good for the culture? The mumble, the tech, the EDM, the rock hops, whatever you want to call it.
Let's get into that.
Listen, also, before we get into that, you guys go check out our Patreon page. Last week, or maybe the week before, we put up a blooper reel. It's hilarious, you gotta check it out, but it's only for patrons. And now it's time for the patron-only live chat. This Thursday, 9 o'clock. Last month when we actually had you guys call us up or we called patrons, they debated us live on the air. No holds barred. Go become a patron now so you can join us on Thursday, this Thursday, 9 o'clock, and become a part of the debate. We're gonna talk about, like Cosby, Drake, Guns, Dolph, Gambino. Listen, go become a patron now. $2 a month and you get to debate us live. There's all types of reward systems. You get sent CDs, and there's still one coming. I know who you are, who became a patron a couple weeks ago. That CD is coming to you. But you want to join this debate. It's going to be crazy. We're talking about everything that we've been doing this month, and you guys have had a lot to say. Become a patron at patreon.com/teamboxcutter. Now, that being said, today's question, are different genres of hip-hop good for the culture? And with that being said, let's go. We back. Another Tuesday, another question, another basement debates topic.
This one I like, Bruce.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold y'all. This one I like. This one I like, YouTube.
It's a good one. It's a good one because you might just say that there's too many genres, or people don't like to put things in genres. But I'm here to tell you that there's a reason why. I'm here to tell you that it's actually good for hip hop. It's actually good for hip hop.
And to keep a counter sales. And it's kind of sickening because every time a kid creates, what is probably organic style that comes from him or whatever environment and background he comes from, it gets put into a genre. It's just all kind of corny to me. I'm not gonna hold y'all. It's always been kind of corny when you do hip hop like that. You have to start categorizing this with that and that with this. It was kind of what tore it up in the 90s when you had people beefing about East Coast, West Coast. This is East Coast music. This is the West Coast rap. This is East Coast gangster. This is West Coast conscious. Like, yo, what is all of that? Like, it's kind of corny. But let's get into a few facts here because that's good. I'm always one. I'm a historian when it comes to hip hop. Is the words I will use. And in different eras, you had different vibes and different waves, right? So let's just go 1988 in hip hop, and let's go. I'm gonna tell y'all a couple albums that was out in '88, right? You had Public Enemy, EPMD, NWA. Classic groups and classic albums. The group thing we're gonna get into. We got a show for y'all coming up with that too. Me and Bruce was just discussing. But I'm gonna say it again. Public Enemy, EPMD, NWA. Why is that even, relevant, or why am I saying that? Because '88 is an era where you didn't have that yet. Hip hop was just blossoming and developing into what it's become, and they hadn't had the chance yet to start naming it or breaking it down into different subgenres under the hip hop umbrella, which later became gangster rap.
Oh, I shouldn't have looked at you. So they did.
No, because the NWA didn't come through saying this is gangster rap, like, you know.
Oh, that's another thing I got to tell you. Go ahead.
But in any event, you know, they made what was, you know, called or perceived gangster music. So, like I said, after the fact, there was a genre now called gangsta, after NWA, of course. And this is why they're considered the pioneers of that genre, gangster rap. But like I said, in '88, there were no such thing. You could not go to a record store and say, can I find some gangster rap? So, nor could you say, can I find some conscious gospel? It was just rap. And my point in all of that is that's when it was pure, that's when it was better. Now let's fast forward, because I don't want to just go down memory lane or whatever. That's not what I was doing. If you go now, what's interesting and intriguing to me about hip hop music now, I was listening to some A Boogie before the show with Bruce, and I was telling him how I'm feeling this whole wave where you got somebody like A Boogie who from the Bronx, you know, in the rough area in the Bronx at that, and he talks his street talk, and but he talks it in his way. And not only that, it's the same when he decides to make a party record or a love song. And I'm embracing that. My point in saying that is the barriers of what was created when we started making all these subgenres is being broken down by the kids of today. Kendrick, J. Cole, who are all interchangeable. Meaning that you can make a party record, you can also come back and be conscious. Drake as well. You know, when he decides to go beyond the surface or talk about heartfelt or to go back to his party records or battle with a Pusha T. These barriers, like I said, it just lets you know that it's not necessary to put those labels or put those categories on hip hop or put those stigmas and labels on hip hop like that. It's not necessary because the music will come out how it comes out. The fans, the consumers of the hip hop, they'll call it what they call it. They'll call it the street bop one day. They'll call it the stanky leg the next day. They'll call it, church going. And you know, look at what we got today. Snoop Dogg, who also came right after that NWA, obviously with Dr. Dre, would be considered a pioneer of gangster rap, so-called, quote unquote, is making gospel albums today. Another, more proof to let you know that it's not really, you don't have to put that label on it, because he felt like making, divine music or whatever that is, religious music or whatever, that's okay. He's still Snoop to us. He's still 187 on the Undercover Cop as far as I'm concerned. It's okay. It's just letting us know that you don't have to put that label on. He has a show with Martha Stewart. It's all right now. It's okay. He's not just gangster rap, obviously, and which is my point in all of that. I'll let Bruce go.
So I'm going to just break down some of the words that you said and show you why I believe that not only you said it's not necessary, not only is it necessary, but you also said organic. The word organic is funny. You said that it's organically going to be what it is. I'm going to tell you that genres, the making of genres, how they become about, is indeed an organic thing. And organic meaning the organ, meaning the brain. Let's check it out. Now you say NWA wasn't calling themselves gangster rap. That's fine. Nobody came out and said, hey, I do mumble rap. They didn't say that. These are things that the other people that put on them. When CBS News in 88 said, this is gangster rap, they ended up using that terminology, and it stuck. Now, organic and necessary. One, the genres are organic because it comes from any art that grows big enough that you have to categorize. Humans end up categorizing it. Because point two, the need to categorize, said by psychologist Alfonso Caramaza, means that the information shuttles to different areas of the brain to trigger the appropriate reaction. The brain's need to store information in the appropriate region is something that is innate from evolution from the beginning. from when we was on the Saharas of Africa, learning what animals will hurt us, what won't. What fruit will kill us, which one won't. These are the brain's necessity to categorize when things get too big is something that is innate. It's organic for us. This is how it works.
Bruce is talking real knowledge right now. I just want to say that.
Appreciate that. This is how it works. Now, because there are different genres doesn't mean that there's not fluidity. I like what you said about Drake, about J. Cole, about your Kendricks. Fluidity, they can go in between these genres. The genres, I argue, are not barriers. They're simply categorizations. And the more genres you can fit in, maybe the better you are.
That's a fact. I agree with that too.
So it comes down to those three ideas, okay? After the art form has grown to such an extent that categorization is necessary, I would say that means genres are actually good for hip hop. Because the more you have, it's funny, I spoke to Stevie, my cousin, he says, he started to download CDs and see he had like 100,000 CDs. And what he found was the more CDs he got, the less he listened to music because it became harder and harder to choose what to listen to. He started listening to music less. He started to not have favorites anymore. And so he couldn't put the same thing in. He started not understanding the words or learning the words. The more we have as humans, the more cluttered it is, the less we enjoy it. So our brain is set up to put things organically into genres so that we can begin to decide, so we can pick, because a whole bunch of everything isn't as good as one really good thing that we know we like. And so it puts it in that category. And it's organic, it's necessary. And it doesn't mean that you can't be fluid. It's not a wall. It actually makes you better the more genres you can fit in. That's my debate. It's my debate.
And a pretty good debate it was, Bruce. Here's mine. What I do feel is necessary and what did make sense about your soliloquy was the fact that the necessity. The only necessity I feel that we as consumers and people who sell hip hop is the obligation to the kids and making it, when I do remember when they started putting parental advisory, and that's because the content can be, you don't want kids exposed to certain contents at a certain age, and that part about labeling or censoring, I guess that would fall under, I think, is the necessity. As far as trying to categorize content, well, the question was, is that good for hip hop or bad?
I say good. Because number one, the more genres means that it's gotten so big to the extent that the brain needs to categorize. Just that fact alone lets you know that hip hop is really in a good place. And the necessity of being able to categorize means people can find the music that they like more easily and enjoy it better. The more music you have without categorizing it, the less the brain can. And this is not me saying it. This is psychologists saying this. The understanding of why we categorize. It's organic and it's necessary. Therefore, I think it's good for hip hop.
I don't think the psychologists never been to house parties uptown and in the Bronx. And I have.
That's a good thing about science. It don't really have to be. It's a scientific method of finding these things out.
And let me tell you, in '96, when there was no social media, it was an abundance of hip hop, and you didn't have to categorize it. Again, and like I said, we're talking about at a time when hip hop was at its peak, and it was, you had Ice Cube and like I said, this always comes when you start having people, the money always plays the factor.
I agree.
And so You want to start marketing. Let's not be fooled, people. This is not about, he's trying to put psychologists and the way your brain works.
No, you agreed with everything that I said. I'm not trying to do anything.
And this,
facts.
And this and that. But the truth of the matter is, hip hop is sold a certain way because of the money comes in certain ways. The labels and distributors are not worried about how your brain can take in hip hop and what it categorizes.
I believe they are, but
they're not. They're worried about the dollar, as they should be.
Right.
And so these are just marketing strategies. And again, you ask me, is that good for hip hop? No.
Okay. So my response to that is, the real question is,
because the people that are doing the categorizing know nothing about the hip hop.
That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. I hear exactly what you're saying, and I agree with you about the exploitation of the genres. Are the different genres bad for hip hop? No, because like I said, they're organic. Those people selling it aren't the ones who made up the name. CBS News called it gangster rap. Mumble rap was called by the radio announcer who first said that and called it that. It wasn't the person selling it. If you don't have genres,
these are marketing strategies.
And that's the exploitation of the genres. If you don't have that, what ends up happening is you get people
the genre is hip hop.
You get people
that's
like
the genre,
and
it's also a culture.
It's a style. You get people like Five Fingers Death Punch.
Cared about the money, never really needed fame. You think it would've changed me, but I've always been the same. My label tried to sue me, TMZ tried to sue me, Blabbermouth can fucking suck it, cause they never fucking knew me. All in all, it's a good life. I got what I want.
You suck.
If there was an East Coast country music, that would be bad for country music. That's not good.
They do have different genres
East Coast
of country music. They do have different genres. There's honky tonk, and then there's pop country, and there's also bluegrass. There's different genres of country music that serve their purpose to organize the music to those who like it.
To sell the music.
And then people use it to sell it because we live in a capitalistic society. There's different genres of African music before it was ever being sold.
Give us feedback. Is this good for hip hop or is it not?
Hey, y'all give us feedback. Listen, man, we got a lot of shout outs. Francine Smith, new subscriber. And listen, every time you leave a comment, we shout you out. That's how this works. Go to Patreon so you can debate us live if you don't like what I'm saying or if you don't like what he's saying. And if you get the right amount, you can even call in and debate us live on the air.
And to the people that don't know the culture and don't know the music, I think it helps them out. So but like I said,
Francine Smith, new subscriber, and I get that American Dad reference. Appreciate that. Green Light said Drake lost that one. Man, I haven't heard a lot of people say that, but you're...
Nah, I'm gonna keep it funky. I've heard a lot of people say that, and it's surprising to me.
But Pusha T's was dope. I think Drake just happened to get him. Bloods, Crips, and Essays, the web series, says Pusha T music hits deeper than Drake because of the street element. But Drake comes with fire every time. I would say Drake is only second to Kendrick, and that's because of the battles.
I could agree with that.
Salute to you, Bloods, Crips, and Essays, the web series. All G's React says that intro beat fire though. Appreciate you, All G's React, and we got a show coming with him. Y'all stay tuned. Nick Bowens says it's questionable because we don't know if Drake wrote the diss track. You know he wrote it because the diss track is about him not writing. Right. So it doesn't even make sense that he wouldn't write it and try to snap back. But I hear you though. Nick Bowens, salute to you. BG Method, the new name. You know what I'm talking about. It said knowing how to make a hit and having slick lines is a nice combo for battling. Another thing is obviously this dude was ready and he had this ready to go. A hit master.
I like that.
Yes.
A hit master.
But he needs an out and out battle with a Kendrick, J. Cole, Big Crit, or even a Royce before we call him. I feel you. Listen,
I hear you.
One of the best comments I heard. BG Method, you in there? I love all of what you said, and it's all facts and it's correct. Tomorrow, you guys stay tuned. All this week is going to be crazy. Tomorrow we're talking about hip-hop groups. Have they died? Are hip-hop groups a thing of the past? And why? We have to ask it. That's going to be a crazy debate. Today, you guys comment right down there who won this debate. And with that,
we off this.
Peace.